IPC to start your deliberation.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind introduction, and I'm really honored to be here in midst of so many advocates. I request the host to give me the sharing permission so that I can share the screen. Yes, thank you. All right. Sir, screen दिख रही है?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So couple of things at the start of the session is ये session थोड़ा interactive रखेंगे, and so that each one of I know between one slide to other slide अगर कुछ questions है तो तभी ले लेंगे. 2 घंटे का session है, so I don't want to waste much time, and we will look at all the provisions and also try to cover the intention of today. The objective of today's session is to give you a perspective of joint development agreements and the taxation of the development right, and also the earlier regime to the current regime. That is what we are going to see. Someone are saying that my voice is low. Hope my voice is clear and audible.
Yes, it is audible.
Okay, all right. Okay. I request members to put, whenever you have a question, put your question in the chat, and keep yourself muted, and request host to like unknowingly कभी किसी का unmute हो जाता है, so just manage that. And I have one very bad habit. I make sure that all the participants are present. So every time I ask a question, and बहुत ही छोटा questions पूछता रहूँगा, खाली आपको yes no उस तरह का देना है, otherwise everything is fine. साथ में एक notebook रख लीजिए so that you also get a fair idea and you can make some notes and we can discuss. ठीक है? At the end, I will be taking one case study and we'll be working on that case study so that you get everything. My biggest task for today is, as our moderator mentioned, कि ये complex subject को हम बहुत ही simple सरल की तरह से समझेंगे. So that is my objective कि this we have to understand. First and foremost question to everyone, and I want your answer in the chat, is GST in real estate segment has litigations. Okay, real estate में litigations तो रहते हैं, but वो real estate sector में खाली GST aspect हम देखेंगे, उसमें कुछ litigations है या law clear है. अगर आपको लगता है litigations है, chat में yes डाल दीजिए. अगर आपको लगता है law clear है, chat में no डाल दीजिए. Okay, very good. So I am seeing majority of the people are saying yes, and we are in a country, a democratic country, and अगर majority लोग बोल रहे कि है, इसका मतलब वो है. अब ये देखेंगे कि वो है क्यों. The only reason why it is litigation is perspective, देखने की नजरिया. अब इसी चीज जो आपके सामने में दिख रहा है, एक तरफ से 4 दिख रहा है, दूसरी तरफ से 3 दिख रही है. अब रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में लैंड ओनर बोलता है मैं तो लैंड बिक चुका हूं, ऑफिसर बोलेगा नहीं खाली आप डेवलपमेंट राइट दिए हो. बिल्डर बोलता है सर मैंने कंस्ट्रक्शन करके लैंड ओनर को दिया हूं, वो तो मेरे को कुछ पैसा नहीं दिया, आई हैवंट टेकन एनी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, उसके ऊपर क्यों टैक्स लगेगा. नहीं, वो बार्टर है, वो कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज है. प्लॉटेड डेवलपमेंट में लैंड ओनर बोलेगा सेल ऑफ लैंड शेड्यूल 3 है, बट ऑफिसर बोलेगा नहीं इट इज डेवलप्ड एरिया. सो पर्सपेक्टिव अलग है. एंड क्यों अलग है? इज लाइक एक ही चीज 2 नजरिए से देखते हैं. अब ये पता नहीं चलता कि कौन से एंगल से हम देख रहे हैं. एंड एक ही चीज को 2-3 तरीके में इंटरप्रेट भी कर सकते हैं. Because of this, there are litigations in the GST. even in today's session, I will try to cover most of the litigations, giving an fair answer. One or two might be left, but let us take it in a bigger intention. हम ये डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे आज की सेशन में क्यों 1/3 डिडक्शन दिया गया. अब कोलकाता में 1/3 में कुछ होता नहीं है, वहां लैंड का रेट ज्यादा है, आउटस्कर्ट्स में चलेगा. या इन अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग क्यों कारपेट एरिया इतना ही दिया, 40 स्क्वायर मीटर, 60 स्क्वायर मीटर. सो लेट अस नॉट गेट इनटू अ डिस्कशन ऑफ द पॉलिसी मैटर्स, राइट. जो लॉ दिया गया है एक्सप्लेनेशन से, नोटिफिकेशन से, उसके अंदर इन लॉ मेकर का इंटेंशन क्या है, क्या वो बोलना चाहते हैं, उसमें हमें कुछ कंफ्यूजन है. खाली उसी मुद्दे पे हम डिस्कस करेंगे, हम डिविएट नहीं करेंगे. पहला, there are many people who might be very clued into GST. GST में सब कुछ पता रहेगा, but real estate का basics of taxation में quickly 5 मिनट का रिव्यू कर लेंगे and then we will spend more time. Otherwise, अगर ये basics में छूट गए ना, then when we do the advanced discussions, we will get into an issue. जब भी हम कुछ डिस्कशन करेंगे टैक्सेशन के ऊपर, पहली चीज अंडर जीएसटी में, एज आर मॉडरेटर सर ने, संदीप जी बताया कि पहले सेक्शन 7 देखना चाहिए, वो सप्लाई है या नहीं है. अगर वो सप्लाई है तो क्या डेट पे वो सप्लाई हो रहा है, कब मैं बेच रहा हूं, कब वो ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है, व्हाट इज द टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई. एंड अगर उसके ऊपर मेरे को टैक्स देना है, उसका वैल्यू क्या है, कौन सा बेसिस पे देना है, कौन से जुरिस्डिक्शन को देना है, या मेरा स्टेट जुरिस्डिक्शन को देना है या सेंट्रल अथॉरिटी को देना है, एंड कौन से रेट पे टैक्स डालना है. वो रेट के डालने के बाद कैन आई टेक एन इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. कुछ भी चीज हो, नहीं ये तो रियल एस्टेट का नहीं है, कुछ भी हो, ये चीज हर एक टैक्सेशन आइटम के लिए डिस्कस करना जरूरी है. अगर हम सप्लाई से शुरू करेंगे, जीएसटी के अंदर, जीएसटी के अंदर हमारा सप्लाई है. पहला चीज सेक्शन 7 जो बोलता है ऑल फॉर्म्स ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज. सो हम ट्रांजैक्शन जो कर रहे हैं, इधर इट हैज टू बी गुड और सर्विसेज. अगर या तो गुड रहना है या सर्विस रहना है. एंड हमारा मॉडरेटर सर क्लियरली क्लैरिफाई कर दिया है, 2119 हमारा वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सर्विस रहेगा. रियल एस्टेट में वो शेड्यूल 2 में उसको कॉम्पोजिट सप्लाई बोल के डीम्ड सर्विस दिया गया है, तो ट्रांजैक्शन सर्विस है. नेक्स्ट, सच सप्लाई कैश के तौर पे हो सकता है या बार्टर एक्सचेंज भी हो सकता है. एंड तीसरी चीज, वो इट कैन बी सोल्ड नाउ और आई हैव रिसीव्ड सम मनी एंड आई हैव सेड एग्री टू बी सोल्ड. मैं आज या कल मैं एग्री कर रहा हूं सेल करने के लिए फॉर ए कंसिडरेशन. कंसिडरेशन का मतलब है इट कुड बी इन कैश और इन काइंड. अगर ये इंग्रेडिएंट्स जुड़ा गया है तब उसको सप्लाई माना जाएगा. ओके सर, बीच में हिंदी में बोल दूं या विल कीप इट इन इंग्लिश, व्हाटएवर यू कंफर्ट.
Whatever you comfort with. You can speak in English, both.
ठीक है, ओके डन. सो ये क्लैरिटी है हमें. इसको शेड्यूल 2 में सर्विस के तौर पे बोला गया, सो दैट इज आल्सो क्लियर. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, शेड्यूल 3 में इसको नीदर सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स नॉट सर्विस बोला गया. एंड अगर हम शेड्यूल 3 देखेंगे, लाइक अगर आपके पास एक्ट है तो एक्ट आप, मैं रिकमेंड करता हूं कि साथ ही साथ आप अपना एक्ट भी देख लो. सो अगर आपके पास शेड्यूल 3 है तो शेड्यूल 3 में एंट्री 5 दिया गया है, एंड उसमें से 3 एलिमेंट है. देयर आर 3 एलिमेंट्स इन दैट line number 5, very beautifully drafted. And whatever be the complaint on GST, jitne bhi ho, I wholeheartedly appreciate the draftsman of the GST. Now they have taken VAT, excise, service tax, and including other allied laws ko merge karke, and they have brought this act very beautifully drafted. Ab ho sakti hai idhar udhar kuch issues hai, and it will get settled. इसमें लिखा गया कि सेल ऑफ लैंड, दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग, इज एग्जेम्प्ट, राइट? देन सेल ऑफ लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, बीच का कामा हटा दीजिए, लेट्स रीड इट आफ्टर लेटर पॉइंट. Sale of land and building is also neither treated of sale of goods or thing. The thing is subject to clause 5B of schedule 2. Schedule 2 के, and good thing easy to remember, schedule 2 का भी entry 5 है, schedule 3 का भी entry 5 है. So they, उनका कहना है कि after completing you are selling the land and building, तो भी वो exempt है. Now I am telling very casually it is exempt, but technically it is neither supply of goods nor supply of service. मतलब वो तो जीएसटी के लागू होगा ही नहीं, वो तो सप्लाई है ही नहीं. इट इज डीम्ड नॉट ए सप्लाई. अब मुद्दा ये बनती है कि अगर मेरा पार्टली कंप्लीटेड है, अब रेरा आ गया, रेरा का रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है, मैं टावर वाइज लेता हूँ. मेरा प्रोजेक्ट में 2 टावर है, एक टावर का कंप्लीशन हुआ, दूसरा टावर कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ. जब ये दूसरी टावर में बेच रहा हूँ, should I treat it as completed before OC or after OC? Is a question that we have. Then कुछ समय पे हमें ऐसा होता है कि मैंने मेरा फ्लोर एरिया रेशियो 2 टाइम्स दिया गया, बट एक फ्लोर एक्स्ट्रा कंस्ट्रक्ट किया, या कारपेट एरिया जितना मेरे को अवेलेबल था उसमें से एक्स्ट्रा कंस्ट्रक्ट किया. कुछ डिविएशंस है, वो डिविएशंस के कारण मेरे को वो कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिल रहा है. फिजिकली तो मेरा कंप्लीशन हो गया, कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिल रहा है. क्या वो टाइम पे मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, राइट? सो अगेन देयर इज नो डेफिनेटिव आंसर इन द लॉ. as long as you can establish that it is completed, you can independently identify and disaggregate, then we should go with the bigger spirit of the law कि वो complete हो गया. complete होने के बाद जो हम बेच रहे हैं उसके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं है. कंप्लीट होने से पहले जो हम बेच रहे उसके ऊपर टैक्स है. अब कंप्लीट होने से पहले मैं जब बेचता हूं एंड कस्टमर से खाली मेरे को 17% 18% पैसा आ रहा है, जो बाकी बचा हुआ 20-30% कंप्लीट होने के बाद आ रहा है, वो भी टैक्सेशन के अंदर है. क्योंकि हमारा सेक्शन 7 में बोला गया कि सोल्ड और एग्रीड टू सोल्ड. सो फ्यूचर में भी मेरा पैसा आ रहा है, मैं एग्री कर दिया हूँ. प्रूफ क्या है एग्री करने के लिए? लाइक आपने सेल एंट्री किया, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना दिया, एग्रीमेंट या व्हाटएवर दी टाइप ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट आप बोलते हो, कस्टमर के साथ आपने बना दिया, कुछ एडवांस ले लिए, उसका मतलब आपने खाली 1 रुपए भी ले लिया ना, तो पूरे ट्रांजैक्शन के ऊपर आप विलिंग टू पे द टैक्स. नाउ दूसरी चीज हमें लॉ में देखना है, फॉरवर्ड चार्ज या रिवर्स चार्ज. अब ये तो पता है हमें, टैक्स हमेशा कस्टमर देता है, हमेशा कस्टमर टैक्स पे करता है. बस एक ही डिफरेंस है, फॉरवर्ड चार्ज में कस्टमर पूरा पैसा सप्लायर को दे देता है एंड सप्लायर उसका सेल वैल्यू रख के जो टैक्स बनती है वो गवर्नमेंट को देता है. सप्लायर ही विल, सॉरी, हाँ, फॉरवर्ड चार्ज में it is very clear that customer gets the goods, he makes the payment to the supplier keeps his margin money and he pays the taxes to the government. अब रिवर्स चार्ज में भी टैक्सेस खाली कस्टमर ही देता है, बट द ओनली डिफरेंस इज कस्टमर जब माल खरीदता है वो खाली बेसिक वैल्यू सप्लायर को देता है, जितना टैक्स लगता है उतना टैक्स अमाउंट वो डायरेक्टली गवर्नमेंट को दे देता है. सो फॉरवर्ड चार्ज एंड रिवर्स चार्ज दोनों सिचुएशन में सप्लायर इज द वन हु इज कैरिंग एज एन इंटरमीडियरी पेइंग द मनी, बट द रियल पेमेंट इज डन द बायर. हमेशा टैक्स बायर को ही देना पड़ता है, सप्लायर इज जस्ट ए कंसाइनी. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, अब जब ये ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है टैक्स कब जमा करना चाहिए? एंड since it is services, we should read section 13 time of supply. उसमें बोला गया कि जब भी आप इनवॉइस इश्यू करते हो, जब भी आप ड्यू डेट ऑफ इनवॉइस, सेक्शन 31 में जो बोला गया है, earliest of those two. Now डेवलपमेंट रेट को मैं बाद में आता हूँ, let us only first get the builder transaction. So whatever the contract which the builder is agreed with the customer, वो टाइम्स डेट्स में वो डिमांड लेटर जो बना के भेज देता है, वो टाइम पे टैक्स जमा करना है. And this is treated as continuous supply of service. This is treated as continuous supply of service. So within the specified time, he has to remit the taxes because the agreement to the customer, मैंने customer को क्या वादा किया था कि मैं आपको पूरा constructed flat दूंगा. So every time when I am raising a demand, मान लीजिए मैंने I am the customer, I have entered into a contract with the builder, that builder will give me in 5th floor. But when the foundation is done itself, he says 10% foundation के ऊपर देना है and 25% जब 2 फ्लोर होगा, वैसे he has milestone basis. अब मेरा construction शुरू होगा ही नहीं, फिर भी देना पड़ेगा because it's a continuous supply of service and supply complete होगी जब मेरा sale date बनेगी. So जो भी मेरा contract के हिसाब से एग्री किया गया, ऐसा स्पेसिफिकली कुछ भी नहीं है कि ये डेट पे देना है. वेरी अनलाइकली सप्लायर बिल्डर एंड कस्टमर के बीच में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होगा, बहुत ही अनलाइकली है. हमेशा एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रहेगा. वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के हिसाब से जब भी वो ड्यू डेट आता है, वो ड्यू डेट में भले वो कस्टमर पैसे दिया या नहीं दिया, बिल्डर को टैक्स जमा करना पड़ता है. अब ये थोड़ी मिस्चिफ है ये इंडस्ट्री में. ये इंडस्ट्री हमेशा जब भी कस्टमर से पैसा आता है तभी गवर्नमेंट को देता है, बट कानून के तौर पे जब भी वो डिमांड ड्यू होता है वो डेट पे कस्टमर को बिल्डर को गवर्नमेंट को जमा करना. टैक्स कैलकुलेट करने के लिए मेन इंग्रेडिएंट है कि कौन सा वैल्यू पे टैक्स कैलकुलेट करो. एंड इन केस ऑफ ए रियल एस्टेट ट्रांजैक्शन also it is very important. Value is determined under section 15 जो बोलता है कि प्राइस पेड और पेएबल अब या फ्यूचर में. अगर अनरिलेटेड पार्टी है तो जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट में है वो से चलेगा, अगर रिलेटेड है वैल्यूएशन रूल्स में जाना है. इन केस ऑफ ए रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री, what is that you have to do is you have to go by the value. The value is land and building. Now whenever I am buying an apartment, say I am buying 2 BHK apartment, builder bolega 75 lakhs. Now 75 lakhs is not purely for that apartment, it is also for undivided share of land. It is undivided share of land. हमने schedule 3 में देखा है कि sale of land is outside the purview, so the government wants to remove the sale of land. So whenever there is land and building is sold together, so the government said by way of an explanation that 1/3 is of the total value is deemed as value of the land. 1/3 is deemed as value of the land. Do not pay tax on 1/3. And there was a question which generally comes on PLC, premium location charges, floor rise charges, so FRC, pool view charges, or the garden view, or extra balcony. So there are additional, or maybe additional car park. So there are additional amounts which the builder collects in the name of various amenities. Now, what is the value? Should I treat that basic value, which is land and building, then amenities are two different supplies. Amenities के ऊपर 18% डाल दो, इसके ऊपर लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग 1/3 लैंड घटा के बिल्डिंग का रियल एस्टेट का रेट डालो. द आंसर इज नो. पूरा कंबाइंड कर, जो भी आप नाम बोलना चाहते हो, वॉट एवर द नेम यू वांट टू गिव, इफ इट इज ए कंसिडरेशन. नाउ व्हाई एम आई सेइंग इफ इट इज ए कंसिडरेशन, साथ ही साथ बिल्डर विल कलेक्ट कुछ डिपॉजिट फॉर से गैस कनेक्शन, वाटर कनेक्शन, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शन, कुछ भी, वो तो कस्टमर को वापस आएगा. वो डिपॉजिट्स हटा दो. हटाने के बाद जो भी नॉमेनक्लेचर में कलेक्शन हो रहा है वो पूरा अपार्टमेंट का वैल्यू है. उस हिसाब से आपको टैक्स जमा करना पड़ेगा. व्हाट इज द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई? Importance of place of supply is whether you should charge CGST or SGST. अगर supplier का state is in one state and the place of supply is in the same state, then it is C+S. 99% of the transaction, all real estate transactions will be CGST, SGST, because the place of supply for property under 12 subsection 3 of IGST Act is location of that immovable property. And generally, wherever the construction is happening, since the supply is happening from that state, owing to section 22, builders has to take registration in each state where they are providing the supply from. Hence, most of their transactions will be CGST and SGST. Then lastly, last but one, input tax credit मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा. Exemptions भी देखना है. Now, there is generally anything purchased for business, input tax credit मिलेगा. But exception is under a blocked credit 17 subsection 5 clause C and clause D, where if anyone is undertaking a works contract construction activity on his own self, मतलब मैं ही खुद material खरीद कर मैं construct कर रहा हूँ या मैं outsource दे रहा हूँ किसी को, then I am not allowed to take input tax credit. I am not allowed to take input tax credit. Exception to it, if I am selling, my outward supply is also the same as inward supplies. Like I am also selling this as a works contract, then I can take the credit. So a builder, since his input is works contract, his output is one works contract, he can take input tax credit. However, this is to be read with the conditions which are notified in notification 11/2017, because there are certain entries in 11/2017 where the rate of tax is lower, like GTA or real estate, where you are paying at 5%, 7.5%. In these cases, it is deemed as exempt supply and you cannot take. But if you are paying at an original rate, which is 12%, 18%, then you are eligible to take input tax credit. Again, at the beginning, our moderator sir has explained that we have this safari retreat judgment of the High Court of state of Orissa, though which is still challenged and it is at the Supreme Court and it has to be tested, is under the same premise of 17 subsection 5 clause C and D, wherein that I am, say, let us say I am constructing a commercial property. My objective is to rent it. Now, what is my income? Rental income, which is taxable. But the source of that rental income is this building. Unless I construct this building and I don't earn the rent, there is no input and output correlation. So in the cases where there are commercial contracting for renting या malls, उस situations में input tax credit मिलना है. So that was the premise in which it was argued, and when the word used is on his own self, on his own account. So those were the interplay with the words. And generally, wherever the High Court rulings or Supreme Court rulings are happening, they go little beyond the act. And we, in a normal parlance, we should not talk ki intention of the lawmaker, because hame to pata nahi hai, but when it is being argued in the court, the courts definitely look at the principles of equity and natural justice. Still, as of now, I feel safari retreat case should not be applied in day-to-day life unless we see the finality of it in the Supreme Court. And personally, I am not in agreement that the input tax credit will be allowed, even though for commercial renting, not on the grounds that, okay, it is illegal, but the way the act is drafted, the plain reading of it, the credit wouldn't be allowed. That is why it is called as block credit 17.5C and D. Then the another thing which we also need to see is whenever there is a sale of land and building under 17 subsection 3, it is deemed as exempt supply for the purpose of computing a common credit reversal. Even though I am saying that sale of land and building is a schedule 3, which is neither supply of goods or not supply of service, but it is deemed as exempted only for a limited purpose of input tax credit reversal. Then are there any exemptions in the real estate sector? There are exemptions which generally given under section 11 of the CGST Act. What are the exemptions which have been given? So by way of notification 4/2019, when there is a transfer of development right to by the landowner, they have exempted this. This is the most litigated subject, litigated aspect. At this point, I wanted to just get transfer of development right by the landowner is exempted. I will be coming back little more detailed on the same subject. The only point you should be knowing here is the transfer of development right for construction of residential apartments, it is exempt. For construction of a commercial apartments, it is not exempt. इसका method valuation फिर से detailed एक बार देखते हैं. So these are the basis of the various provisions under the GST Act applicable for a real estate industries. Is there any doubt at this till this point? Because now we will get into specific to the notifications and the wordings and various aspects. किसी को अब तक जो discuss किए थे very basic में कुछ doubts है क्या? If you have, you can put it in the chat. If no doubts, I wanted to put it as no, so that I know that okay, you are aware and awake. Very good. 3 people said no. In fact, I like lot of yes and no's, and I keep making you type this yes and no's. All right, let's move on. This slide is very important. जो भी अगर किसी डेवलपर को या लैंड ओनर को या एंड कस्टमर को एडवाइस दे रहे हैं, कुछ एडवाइस दे रहे हैं कि कौन सी बेसिस में टैक्सेशन लगना है, क्या नोटिफिकेशन देखना है. जब जीएसटी लॉ शुरू हुआ था तब भी थोड़ा रियल एस्टेट में एम्बिग्विटी था. सो उसके बाद which is roughly 2.5 years after the implementation of the act, the government has done a very thorough thought through in what should be there under the real estate, and they have come up with this notification. Prior to this, we had one notification 4/2018 on time of supply for landowner activity. Usko chhod ke, these are the main notifications if anyone wants to practice or give an opinion on real estate. Pehla cheez, the first are these are central tax rate CTR. I have not mentioned, but please read it as central tax rate notification 3/2019. These are all the last set of notifications released FAG end of March 2019. One is the rate of the GST for real estate they have changed. Under 4/2019, they have given this exemption of the development right to the landowner in case of a residential construction. Under 5/2019 exemption देते साथ ही उसको बोला गया कि वो लायबिलिटी अगर बनेगा, चाहे वो कमर्शियल रेजिडेंशियल जो भी हो, अगर लायबिलिटी बनता है वो लायबिलिटी लैंडओनर के बजाय बिल्डर पे करे. वो 5/2019 में बोला गया. अब ये कब पे करना है उसको 6/2019 में बोला गया, which is equivalent to 4/2018. We all know 9 subsection 4 has been suspended in 13th October itself, and that has been brought in only for this sector, real estate sector, wherein they said there is a rate of tax for RCM for services, and the criteria for what is the condition of 90%, 9 subsection 4 में जो पे करना है उसका criteria दिया गया. and goods के लिए एक rate, services के लिए एक rate, cement के लिए एक rate, capital assets के लिए एक rate दिया गया. Then the central tax 16/2019, which is again a very key in changing the rule 42 and 43, the way in which you will do a common credit reversal, वो notification से आया है. And the attributable based on carpet area, it has been brought in by way of effective from by way of removal of difficulty order 4/2019. Now we will get into each of these notifications one by one. पहला चीज ये rates समझ लेते हैं. I have classified into various entries. Old entry serial number 3 HSN 9954 कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज. अब 9954 के अंदर बहुत सारे सब कोड्स है, but originally there was an entry number 1 which said construction of a complex building civil structure was the entry. उस एंट्री को हटा के नया एंट्री आ गया. 1 is affordable RREP. I'll also explain what is RREP, REP. Let's first understand REP, real estate project. REP मतलब real estate project. RREP मतलब residential real estate project. REP मतलब real estate project. So जो भी बिल्डर करता है वो रियल एस्टेट प्रोजेक्ट है, चाहे कमर्शियल रेजिडेंशियल व्हाटएवर. अगर प्योरली रेसिडेंशियल है या इट फिट्स इनटू रेसिडेंशियल, उसको हम RREP बोलेंगे. उसके बाद if it fits into affordability, we have an affordable housing based on the carpet area within the metros, other than metros. Then based on the value of supply, which is 45 lakhs transaction value है, तो उसको affordable housing बोला गया. Then there is a rate separately for affordable housing, then other than affordable housing. So these are the entries you have: 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. So you have the entries separately which have come up until 10. So I have just I'm just skipping all those things. We will see all those entries one by one. ये नोटिफिकेशन आने से पहले रेट क्या था बिल्डर्स को? Okay, so I am keeping this slide. Now I want you to give me an answer just before the rate of notification. What is the rate of tax for the bill under real estate segment? What is the rate of tax? Please put it in the chat. For a builder, whether he is selling a commercial or residential, when GST was introduced, what was the rate of tax for a builder? Okay, I see 12, 12 and 18, 12 and 8, 12, 18, 8, 12 and 5. बहुत सारे लोग 12 बोल रहे. 12 और 18. Very good. In fact, 12 and 18 is the right answer. Let's see why. See, we casually say builders का rate है 12%. अगर affordable है, affordable earlier affordable was PMAY scheme, प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना स्कीम में जो भी बिल्डिंग बन रहे थे उसका 8%. बट वो कैसे आ रहा था? रेट ऑफ परसेंट ना तो 8% है ना तो 12% है. रेट ऑफ परसेंट था 12% और 18%. हमने 1/3 लैंड को हटा देंगे, घटाएंगे, बाकी जो बचेगा उसके ऊपर 2/3 के ऊपर या तो 12 या तो 18% करेंगे. उसका इफेक्टिव रेट बनता था 8 और 12. बट 8 और 12 वाज नॉट नेवर ए रेट ऑफ टैक्स. रेट ऑफ टैक्स वाज 12 and 18. जब हम GSTR 1 फाइल करेंगे, GSTR 1 में भी हम खाली 2/3 वैल्यू टेबल 7 में दिखाना है at 12 and 18%. जो बचा 1/3 है अंडर नॉन GST सप्लाई कॉलम 3 ऑफ टेबल 8 में दिखाना है. ये गलतियां बहुत हो रही थी. सभी लोग पूरा 100% वैल्यू टेबल 7 में 12% के तौर पे दिखा रहे थे. वो गलत बात है. अब आया 1st April. There are various entries. Now when I say various entries, what are the entries which I am talking? I am now into these entries which are seeing 1A, 1-3. So those entries are decoded in this way. First, I will take with land, without land. On the left side of the screen is with land, right side of my screen is without land. So when you are selling something with land, it is affordable housing. It is an affordable project. Rate of tax for an affordable project is 1.5%. and rate of tax for a residential project is 7.5%. Is 7.5%. मतलब 3.75% CGST, 3.75% SGST. Here 0.75 CGST, 0.75 SGST. But हमने 1/3 deduction देने के बाद, if you are calculating on the total sale value, if you are calculating, though that is not a right way, if you are calculating on total sale value, it becomes 1% for an affordable, 5% for other than affordable. Now I am saying other than affordable as residential. Then we have something called pure commercial project. अगर ये purely commercial project होगा तो rate of tax जो पहले था वही continue है 18%, but effectively वो बनेगी 12%. But here एक ही difference है पिछले और इसमें, यहाँ there was no ITC, and in case of a commercial you get the ITC, उसका input tax credit मिलेगा क्योंकि ये lower rate of tax है, ये regular rate of tax है. Now this is if you are supplying with land. If you are supplying without land, that means you are doing a subcontract. That means you are doing a subcontract. अगर आप subcontract कर रहे हो, then the general rate of tax is 18%. But in case of a PMAY, the government wants to have a lower rate of tax and the builders को भी cash flow घटाना है, तो same subcontract activity is same. I'm still doing the same construction of like I got a labor contract to lay the tiles or to do plastering work. I am not the one who is selling. I'm doing a subcontract. But if it is towards PMAY or an affordable housing, then the rate of tax would become lower value, which is 12%, right? So these are the basic provisions. We have a question from Vivek ji, is why should we show 1/3 value as non-GST supply while it is not at all a supply as per Schedule 3? A very valid point, Vivek ji. Technically, it is not a supply. You don't need to show it. But only after the new returns came in and the definitions in the returns, they have said this non-GST supply would include no supply. No मतलब जो अगर supply भी नहीं है include कर दो so that आपका P&L के साथ match होगा and assessment के लिए easy होगा. Is non-GST supply defined in the law? Nowhere defined in the law. What is defined in the law is non-taxable supply. What is asked in the returns is non-GST supply. दोनों में अंतर है, इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा था 1/3 value to be shown in the returns. All right. Any doubts to anyone so far? चलिए, let's go to commercial project. Now we will see pure commercial, pure residential. So basically, we will start seeing residential, commercial, mixed projects, all those things. In a commercial project, you have affordable, residential and commercial. मतलब mix है, पूरा mix है. तब कैसे करना है? तभी भी same situation. जो affordable portion, जो residential वाला affordable है, उसके ऊपर rate of tax 1% है. Though I am saying that is not right word, but that is where people understand. Otherwise they get confused. And residential portion का 5% है, commercial का 12% है on the total value. ठीक है? First दो का no ITC है, third का ITC है. अगर mix है residential वाला, like now what is the difference? Earlier I said commercial में 3 है and residential में 3 है. Now when I say residential में 3 है, अगर वो commercial portion 15% से कम है total carpet area से, there are most of the high rise buildings, what they do, they reserve some portion of the thing for a grocery shop, for a medical shop, like various items which are required for the people residing in that tower or in that building. वो commercial portion है. अगर वो commercial portion 15% of the total carpet area से कम है, उसको भी deemed residential बोला जाएगा. Even though it is a commercial, it will be deemed as residential. The moment you are deeming it as residential, उसका rate of tax भी जैसे residential था वही rate of tax हो जाएगा without any ITC 5% rate of tax. PMAY में एक कंडीशन है, अब जो सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है लोअर रेट ऑफ टैक्स में चार्ज कर रहा है, बट बिल्डर ने वायलेट कर दिया कि वो प्रोजेक्ट PMAY नहीं है, तो सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के ऊपर कुछ भी इश्यू नहीं आएगा. बिल्डर हैज टू पे द डिफरेंशियल 6% and in by way of a reverse charge mechanism. If my affordable housing project is carpet area is less than 50% of the total carpet area, then the rate of tax will become 18%. ये एक चीज ध्यान में रखना है whenever there is a mixed work and the contractor is asking subcontractor to charge at a lower rate of tax. ये जो रेट चेंज हुआ था, ये रेट चेंज हुआ था 1 अप्रैल 2019 से. अब 1 अप्रैल 2019 तक पुराना रेट था, नो इशू. 1 अप्रैल 2019 के बाद नया रेट, नो इशू. बट जो ये त्रिशंकु स्वर्ग में है, जो बीच में है, मतलब मैंने प्रोजेक्ट इस एरा में शुरू किया बट ये इस एरा में कंप्लीट हो रहा है, उसका कौन सा अप्लाई करूं, या ये ओल्ड वाला अप्लाई करूं या न्यू वाला अप्लाई करूं. तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला द चॉइस इज योर्स वेदर यू वांट टू अप्लाई द ओल्ड और न्यू. सो न्यू रेट इज विदाउट ITC, old rate is with ITC. So that is where you have this 3, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D यहाँ तक हो गया. उसके बाद 1E and 1F is the old rate ongoing. So वो old जो entries थे गवर्नमेंट ने the law book से हटाया नहीं, उसको 1E, 1F so segregate किया गया. And it also said जो भी old rate में continue करना चाहते हो, please note न्यू रेट इज मैंडेटरी. अगर आप ओल्ड रेट में रहना चाहते हो, आप कमिश्नर को एनेक्सर 4 फाइल करना है, वही नोटिफिकेशन 3/2019 में दिया गया. अब मोस्ट ऑफ द बिल्डर्स ये फॉर्म भी सबमिट नहीं किए थे बट स्टिल ओल्ड रेट में है. अब लिटिगेशन कब आएगा वो देखना पड़ेगा. ये 20 मई 2019 के अंदर फाइल करना था. There are some conditions given with the new rate for adopting new rate without ITC. Now they said this new rate is without ITC. Now जब भी ITC नहीं है, the moment अगर आपको पता लग गया कि ITC नहीं है तो क्या करोगे. अब बेसिक एग्जांपल, कस्टमर का माइंडसेट देख लीजिए. वो बाजार जाता है, जो मार्केट एरिया में वहां पे जा रहा है एंड वहाँ दुकानदार से पूछ रहा है मेरे को एक मोबाइल चाहिए. तो दुकानदार बोलता है मोबाइल का रेट है 10,000 एंड 18% GST है, 1,800 GST है, 11,800 आपको चुकाना पड़ेगा, ये मोबाइल मिलेगा आपको. कस्टमर क्या बोलता है, अच्छा मेरे को बिल नहीं चाहिए एंड मैं भी कार्ड में नहीं पे करूंगा, कैश में दे दूंगा, 10,000 दूंगा तो चलेगा क्या. अब क्यों कस्टमर के मन में मोबाइल का वैल्यू खाली 10,000 है, जो 1,800 दे रहा हूँ गवर्नमेंट को जाएगा, ये तो वैल्यू नहीं है. सो व्हाई शुड आई पे समथिंग व्हेन देयर इज नो वैल्यू. दैट्स हाउ कस्टमर्स थिंक, राइट. अब ये बिल्डर को पता चल गया कि मेरा इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा, वो तो खर्चा है. वो भी क्या करेगा, जो बिना ITC का 2 नंबर में माल बेच रहा है उससे मैं माल खरीदूंगा. सो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला हो सकता है, ऐसा हो सकता है. तो हम पहले ये चीज बोल रहे हैं, अगर आपके पास ITC कैरी फॉरवर्ड है तो भी आप यूज नहीं कर सकते हो, आपको खाली कैश में पे करना है एंड फ्यूचर परचेजेस में ITC नहीं लेना है. एंड अगर आपने परचेजेस किसी अनरजिस्टर्ड बंदे से कर रहे हो, उसके ऊपर आप 18% लगा के पे कर दो. अब ये तो बहुत मुश्किल है कि हर एक एक्टिविटी में मैं एक रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन ढूंढ के जाऊं. मान लीजिए ये छोटी सी काम था, छोटी सी काम के लिए जो भी आजू बाजू में मिलता है उनको बुला के अच्छा भाई ये फिटिंग कर दो, ये सेट कर दो. हर एक चीज में तो देख नहीं सकता. तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला चलो अगर आपका प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट 100 रुपए है, उसमें से 80% आप रजिस्टर से ले लो, बाकी जो है वो अनरजिस्टर्ड से ले सकते हो. अगर आप 80% से ऊपर अनरजिस्टर्ड से ले रहे हो, उसके ऊपर में आप रिवर्स टैक्स के जोड़ पे 9 सबसेक्शन 4 में जो बोला गया है उस हिसाब से आप पे कर दो। खाली एक चीज वो 80% में इंक्लूड नहीं करूंगा, सीमेंट। अगर सीमेंट 1 रुपए का भी आपने अनरजिस्टर्ड से खरीद रहे हो, आप उसके ऊपर 28% जो भी रेट एप्लीकेबल है वो पे कर दो। एंड सीमेंट पहले वो एसी सीमेंट, सो दीज आर इनटू दैट 28 कैटेगरी, 28% में पे करना पड़ेगा। ओके, लैंड ओनर का वापस आ जाएंगे। ऑल राइट, सो नाउ वी हैव covered substantial basic understanding of the law to get into little complex subject, that is the taxation under joint development agreements. अब तक जो डिस्कशन हुआ, किसी को कुछ डाउट है so far? Okay, so first question which I am seeing here is, what is the rate of GST in case of residential building with ITC? Joy ji, you are talking about a situation prior to 1st April, then 18%. Today, there is not even a thinking that you can have a new construction which you are doing with ITC for a residential building. Next, Subrata Rai, why RCM is not applicable for works contract service except for real estate development? Sir, I am not saying that RCM is not applicable. RCM under 9.3 is applicable for all the services. For 9.4, it is only works contract services under real estate. There are no other notifications released under 9.4. In the Central Tax, the Finance Act 2018 has amended the definition of 9 subsection 4. उसके बाद एक ही नोटिफिकेशन जो रिलीज हुआ वो रियल एस्टेट के लिए। ओके, किसी को कुछ डाउट्स है सो फार? Subcontract service under real estate. Subcontract service under real estate, you think it as if it is a regular thing. Like I am a builder, but I am not selling to end customers. I am free, I have nothing. So I am using my men and material to do a building for someone. I will be charging at 18%. That's all. Nothing more, nothing much. Does a contractor need to take registration in the state where building a rail bridge? Okay, now basis, this is from Balram Pandey. The answer could be yes and then no. अगर वो state में कुछ माल खरीदारी कर रहा है, because he is a works contractor and he will be getting input tax credit. The input tax credit is restricted for those sale of apartments. In other situations, he will be getting it. So if you see, that is why I have shown the original entry number 3. 3 में बहुत सारे 10 entries है, खाली हम आज discuss कर रहे हैं entry number 1 को. So it is always recommended to have a registration in each and every state where you are doing the activity. ठीक है. Okay. Can you all type no in the chat so that I'll move further? Is there any questions? Put no. Questions to Porore. If purchase not shown in 2A or 2B, then is it URP instead of an actual purchase? Mostly yes. Can a real estate purchase developer purchase material from a composition dealer? Yes, you can purchase from a composition dealer. It will be deemed as a registered purchase. एक ही नो आया है, जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आए तो मैं तो आंसर कर दिया हूं, तो बाकी लोग सिस्टम ऑन करके चाय पीने चले गए. कॉपी ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन शेयर हो जाएगा सर, चिंता मत कीजिए. राहुल जी मैंने आंसर कर दिया. कैन ए रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर परचेज फ्रॉम कॉम्पोजिशन डीलर? यस यस, ही कैन परचेज. ऑल राइट. संदीप जी बोल रहे कंटिन्यू करो. मैं सोच रहा हूँ मेरे तरफ से थोड़ा ब्रेक ले लिया हूँ. ठीक है, लेट्स कंटिन्यू. Acha. So now let us understand joint development agreement. Now, before I get into a joint development agreement, one question to you all. One question to you all. Let's say I am a dealer of sale of mobile phone. I am selling mobile phone. Now, when a GST is levied, is it levied for the phone or for the sale? Now, it might appear that, okay, it is like a confusing statement. It might appear like a confusing statement. I will extend the question. Okay, Sandeep ji gave a right answer. It is not for the phone, it is for the sale. So I'm now extending the question. I am a wholesale dealer. I am a wholesale dealer. I am selling this phone to a distributor. Distributor is further selling this phone to a retail shop. Retail shop is further selling to an end customer. So this phone is getting sold into 3-4 times. So under GST, is that sale happening, is the GST is applied on this phone, or in the activity which is happening, is it happening on that activity which is a supply, or is it on the phone? Perfect. Perfect. So with this, you all agree there is no double taxation happening on the phone. ये फोन के ऊपर डबल टैक्सेशन नहीं हो रहा है, right? So I'm sure that you all agree that there is no double taxation happening on the phone. Now, if this concept is clear, you will understand this barter, development right, all that pretty easily. Let's look at with this example. Let us start with area sharing. Okay. Let us start with understanding an area sharing agreement. We are saying that it is an area sharing agreement. And now I am getting into specific joint development agreement. And let us ignore for a moment all other works contract, construction of railways, bridge, subcontractor, labor contractor, plumber, all that ignore. I am only having two people. There is a landowner जिसके पास लैंड था, बट उसके पास हिम्मत नहीं थी जो कंस्ट्रक्शन कर सके, तो उसने एक बिल्डर को लेकर आया एंड कंस्ट्रक्ट कर दो. उसके पास दो रास्ता था. वो बोल सकता है कि मेरे को कंस्ट्रक्टेड यूनिट्स दो, एरिया शेयरिंग, या तुम ही बेच दो, बेचने का शक्ति भी मेरे पास नहीं है, तुम ही बेच दो और मेरे को रेवेन्यू दे दो. Let us understand the GST in both the angles. Now, क्या किया लैंड ओनर? उसकी प्लेन लैंड को बिल्डर को दे दिया. बिल्डर को दे दिया. Please note, has he sold the land? Please type the question to my answer in the chat. Did he sell the land to the builder? In an area or revenue sharing agreement, does builder sell the land? Did the builder sold the land did the landowner sold the land to the builder? Perfect. Everyone agree? No. Since he did not sell the land, it is not a sale of land. You are clear, it is not a sale of land. So it is not a Schedule 3 item. तो उसने किया क्या? He has given a development right, right? Now what is this development right? अब ये development right होती क्या है? देखिए, जो भी natural resources है, no one on this earth can get an absolute ownership. They will only be getting a bundle of rights, which is also for land. लैंड को भी, इफ आई एम एक लैंड का मैं मालिक हूं, उसका मतलब है उसके ऊपर कुछ राइट्स मेरे को दिया गया जाएगा. कौन सी राइट? डेवलप करो, खेती करो, या माइनिंग एक्टिविटी करो, कुछ डिग कर सकते हो, ठीक है, उसको लीज के तौर पे दे सकते हो. लाइक यू कैन डू सर्टेन एक्टिविटीज ऑन दैट एंड दैट टू रिस्ट्रिक्टेड, because I have asked you to build, develop. You cannot build a skyscraper because it is your land. You can't keep on digging and chase kar do pura. Because you have a right to lease, you cannot give it to terrorists or anyone. Like there are all restricted rights. Now, what are you doing in the JDA? Instead of the bundle of rights, you are picking one right and giving it to your builder. एक राइट आपने बिल्डर को दे दिया, वो राइट का नाम है डेवलपमेंट राइट. हाँ, एक चीज वो है, वो पूरा डेवलप होने के बाद, अब ये भी हो सकता है बीच में जेडीए कैंसिल हो सकता है, तब तक यू स्टिल होल्ड ऑल द राइट्स. बट पूरा डेवलप होने के बाद naturally your other rights will cease. You cannot do mining activity, you cannot do renting activity because ये हो गया. बट जब तक ये ना हो, वो राइट्स भी एसोसिएटेड है आपका लैंड के साथ ही, unless this land is converted into a new activity, right? So this is not a sale of land. We are clear. Now, what does builder do when he gets this development right? What is he doing? He is now converting this plain land into a building. He is converting this plain land into building. And हमने इसको बोला area sharing. तो क्या करता है? So let hypothetically we will say कुछ portion of building landowner के पास है, कुछ portion of building builder के पास है. Okay, it's not that he is exactly cut, just our understanding. अब होता क्या है, जैसे जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन होता रहता है, कुछ कस्टमर्स को सेल हो जाता है. अब जो बचा हुआ यूनिट्स है, जो लैंड ओन बिल्डर ने या तो खुद अपने पास रख लेगा या बाद में सेल करेगा, हो सकता है. जितने भी यूनिट्स जो लैंड ओनर को दिया गया है, लैंड ओनर भी क्या करेगा, वो भी बिफोर ओसी इटसेल्फ किसी को सेल कर देगा या कुछ खुद पर्सनल यूज के लिए रख लेगा. सो बोथ आर द थिंग, बोथ कुड बी पॉसिबल. This is what broadly the transaction happens under the area sharing agreement, correct? Now taxation के आते हैं. अब ये transactions में taxation कैसा रखता है, like what are the items that needs to be taxed? पहली चीज बिल्डर ने किया क्या, बिल्डर ने कुछ यूनिट्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करके लैंड ओनर को दे दिया है. बिल्डर ने कुछ यूनिट्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करके लैंड ओनर को दे दिया. मतलब क्या है, वो तो सीधी वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया. सो देयर इज अ फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज, देयर इज अ फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज, एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ रेसिडेंशियल द थिंग. सो बिल्डर हैज टू पे, प्लीज नोट, बिल्डर हैज टू पे a tax on the units which have been constructed and given to the landowner. Now, कुछ यूनिट जो उनके पास बचे हैं, वो तो एंड कस्टमर को सेल कर रहा है, वो तो anyhow he is selling it, so he will again pay tax on it without any input tax credit because this is under that entry where there are conditions given, no ITC. Then जो यूनिट्स उसके पास बच गया है, इसके ऊपर तो टैक्स लगेगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो तो शेड्यूल 3 का एंट्री है. तो गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत होशियारी से सोचा कि हाँ भाई, इसके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. गवर्नमेंट सेड इसके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. बट एक चीज था जो मैंने बोल गया, वो था डेवलपमेंट राइट. अब ये डेवलपमेंट राइट तो एग्जेम्प्ट था. गवर्नमेंट बोला हाँ परफेक्ट, इट इज एग्जेम्प्ट, बट इट इज अ कंडीशनल एग्जेम्प्ट. अब लैंड ओनर ने क्या किया, पूरा डेवलपमेंट राइट बिल्डर को दे दिया था. अगर डेवलपमेंट राइट is basically a cost for him. If this is the cost, what does generally builders do? They load it and recover it from the customers on the sale. So builder has sold owner's units, builder has sold some portion of his units. There are some portion of his units which did not get sold. तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला जितने यूनिट्स आपको बचा है जो सेल नहीं हुआ, डेवलपमेंट राइट का टैक्स कंप्यूट करो डेवलपमेंट राइट्स का टैक्स कंप्यूट करो, जितना यूनिट्स बच गए हैं उतना पोर्शन, अगर 10 यूनिट्स बच गए हैं देन डेवलपमेंट राइट का, मान लीजिए अगर डेवलपमेंट राइट का जीएसटी लगता है, let us hypothetically say the tax for the development rights is 5 rupees, tax for the development rights is 5 rupees, 10 यूनिट्स बच गए तो 5 into 10%, तो 50 पैसे उतना डेवलपमेंट राइट टैक्स you have to pay. That is what the government said. Did the taxation complete up to this? Answer is no. अब क्या GST is on the, not on the product, it is an activity. What are further activities? और क्या हुआ? Further activities हुआ ना, ये जो बिल्डर ने लैंड ओनर को दिया था, लैंड ओनर वो आइटम्स भी कस्टमर्स को सेल कर रहा है, एंड कस्टमर्स को, तो उसके ऊपर भी टैक्स लगना है। तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला हाँ उसके ऊपर भी लगना है, बट फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ITC ले लो। Now this has become like a commodity. So builder has sold it to the landowner. Landowner is further selling. Landowner is not the one who is actually doing the construction activity, everything. So he is doing a value addition. He has purchased for 50 lakhs, selling it for 60 lakhs. 10 lakhs का value addition हो रहा है. Let me get only a cake of the 10 lakhs is what the government said. Charge it with ITC. जो खुद रख लिया, this is what the notification which has come on the reversal of new ITC without under the rule 42. गवर्नमेंट ने बोल दिया ये यूनिट्स तो आप सेल नहीं कर रहे हो, जितने भी ITC है इसके ऊपर आप क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकते हो. So this is what the taxation under the joint development agreement area sharing. Before I go to the revenue sharing, let's see if there are any questions to anyone. विवेक जी का क्वेश्चन है हाउ टू कंसिडर एग्जेम्प्ट इनवर्ट. सर वो 18% लास्ट में देते हैं, ये स्लाइड में देखते हैं. इफ बिल्डर एंड लैंड ओनर बोथ आर द सेम. हाँ, our host question is if builder and landowner both are the same, then it doesn't, so it everything merges. He is the one who is buying and selling. It is an REP or RREP, whatever it is, the rate of tax is 5%, no input tax credit. And whenever I'm saying 5%, I want to keep iterating this point. It is 7.5%, but people understand only that 5%. That's why I'm telling it. Rahul ji ka question again, I'm saying, do purchase of material for composition dealer incur RCM on the developer? Answer is no. Subrata Rai ji, for construction service, whether the developer pay tax or charge tax to the landowner. Okay. Now the question from Subrata Rai is, for this activity which I'm saying, this construction forward charge which I'm saying, where the builder has to pay. So his question is whether he has to pay tax or charge tax to the landowner. Now I will go back to my question. Okay. Please answer this. Please answer the question. Please listen to the question carefully. Please listen to this question carefully. I have gone to the city market. I have purchased the phone from the shopkeeper. I told shopkeeper that, look, I don't want to pay tax. All inclusive, I am giving you 11,000 rupees. I don't know what you are going to do. मेरे को फोन दे दो. मैंने 11,000 उसको दिया, फोन लेकर आया. Now the question is, should shopkeeper pay GST on it? I as a customer did not give GST to the shopkeeper. Should shopkeeper pay GST to the government? Yes or a no? What you learning? Okay, perfect answer. Everyone have said yes. Now, continuing the same example, builder has given construction services to the landowner. Landowner is saying, look, I have given the land. that is including of the whatever you think, area share, GST. I am not going to give you. Okay. Landowner is saying that I am not going to give you extra. Builder has inability to collect that money from the landowner. Now we will answer this question. Should the builder pay GST on it, even if it is not collected from the landowner? Should the builder pay tax? And please put questions when I ask the question. When I'm asking a question, do not interrupt me. Now the question is, if the builder is not collecting any tax from the landowner, still should he pay, or should he necessarily collect from the landowner and pay? Friends, it is already 7:30. I only have half an hour. Okay. Builder has to pay. Perfect. He has to pay tax. Now it is his ability. It is a contractual obligation in the joint development agreement, whether he agrees to collect from landowner or not. Now let's move to the next aspect of the taxation, which is revenue sharing. So I will not start from the revenue sharing. So in revenue sharing क्या हो रहा है? Landowner बोलता है, देख भाई, मेरे को ये apartments नहीं चाहिए, ये तो तुम ही बेच दो. You keep these units. I don't want the units. You keep the units, and whatever the units which you are selling to the customer before OC, for those units, you give me some portion. It's like whatever, 30%, 40%. You give me that money, whatever which you are selling to the customer. अगर कुछ units have been left unsold, उसके ऊपर भी you give me some money. Whatever is the rate which is agreed, you give me some money. This is what the arrangement is. Now let's see the taxation. Earlier, we have seen the first aspect on the units which are constructed to the landowner. There were no units constructed to the landowner. So since there is no units constructed to the landowner, there will not be any works contract tax on that share. Then the unit sold before OC, there is no change. The same rate is applicable. And the units which is sold after UC, the same. The development rights are allocated to this portion. Very important, landowner का क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं. It is a transaction in money. It is a tax paid money. It is apportioned. So it joint, earlier it was a joint development. Now it is taking the characteristic of joint venture. We are building it jointly. You sell it and we are allocating the profit. So there is no question of the taxes that needs to be paid by the landowner in this case. All right. So we will quickly go on to a case. And I will summarize what are the taxes needs to be paid. A simple example, agar 100 unit construction ho rahe, builder he is keeping 60 units and he is giving 40 units to the landowner. For 40 units, he will pay construction service forward charge. And out of 60 units, मान लीजिए he is selling 35 units. For 35 units, he will pay forward charge 5%. And उसके पास inventory 25 units की पड़ी है. For 25 units also, he will pay a reverse charge in the name of development right. मतलब, if a builder is constructing something 100 units, 100 units के ऊपर इस उनको tax देना पड़ेगा. 100 units के ऊपर उनको tax देना पड़ेगा. Whatever be the name, forward charge, reverse charge, whatever is the name called, the taxes needs to be paid. And what happens to the landowner? Landowner को he has received 40 units. अब ये 40 units का taxation क्या होगा देखते हैं. जो 40 units उसको मिला है, मानते हैं वो 40 units के अंदर 15 उसने सेल कर दिया. वो 15 के ऊपर he will be paying forward charge 5% with availing ITC. जो unsold बचा हुआ है, he will reverse the ITC under Rule 42. Landowner is also selling development right. Now development right हमने बोल दिया residential, it is exempt. Commercial होगा तो don't worry, commercial it is taxable, but taxable under reverse charge. Now ये development rates का taxation कैसे compute करेंगे? How do we compute this development rate taxation? So again, I have said any item that needs to be examined for the taxation, we have to see everything: supply, time of supply, value of supply, rate of tax, everything. So this development rights, there are two things you have to see. From the landowner perspective, it is exempt. From the builder perspective, it is payable on reverse charge. So they have put a conditional exemption. So what is that they have given on the entry? Let's see if there are any questions on the chat. A rate of tax I have explained. Okay. So notification 4/2019 said any transfer of development right from 1st April 2019 is exempt, but promoter is liable to pay tax on reverse charge basis. How is that happening? Is okay. I will give you with a case study. Let's take this with a case study. Let
Okay.
me. Yes, sir. Let's take a hands-on example. Sir, is my Excel sheet visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So okay, let us take a very simple thing. Okay. Here are the facts. If you want me to change the facts, I can change it. The facts is there are totally in a project Mahagold unit. So there are basically, let's say there are 30 units. This tower has 30 apartments. Okay. Flat number. There are 4 floors. Oh, no. 3, 4. Okay. There are totally 6 floors. Yeah. So there are totally 6 floors. Each floor has 5 units. So मिला के 30 हो गया. Flat number 101, 102 till up until 605 we have 30 flats. Each one a different carpet area. Something 2,400, 1,800, whatever. A different carpet areas of each flat we have. Landowner is getting totally, he is getting 13 units. Landowner is getting 13 units, and his carpet area, landowner's carpet area is 26,300. Builder's carpet area is 35,600. All right. So 40% to landowner, 60% to the builder. Absolute value हम देखेंगे तो it might not be 40%, 42%, because you cannot exactly cut. So they will do a cash deal arrangement for the difference. Let's say this is what the whole of the transaction. So we are clear with all the activities. Let us now list out what are all the supplies which are there. First, by landowner, there are landowner. Let us also assuming let us say the number of units sold. Okay, we will also keep something which is sold and sale before OC. Okay, we will keep the one other status, the sale before OC. Okay, let's say this is sold. And this is unsold. So that also we can take. Okay, let me put it little. Area, number of units the landowner is getting, and sold and unsold वो भी लिख लेते हैं. Okay, these are the facts of the case. Any doubts to anyone on the facts of the case? If you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat, or you want me to change the facts, I can change the facts. Is this facts clear for our doing working? Now the basic things are इसमें से value कहाँ पे? Now let us say rate per square feet. Okay. Now for the purpose of time of supply, every transaction has to be looked at value at the time of that supply. Now JD is happening before construction, sale is happening during the construction. There might be multiple rates during the construction. So I will be taking 3 rates: rate on JD date. Okay, rate on JD date. Then let us also take all the units which are being sold at a different time intervals. So I will take an average rate which has been sold to end customer, average sale rate. Then we will take what is the rate on OC date. What is the rate on OC date? Let's take that. So let's put it on when I launched the project. This project was launched at say 6,500 rupees per square feet, and average I sold to many people. I sold it at 8,000 rupees. 2 साल हो गया project construct complete. On the date of OC date, my rate per SFT is 9,500. Okay. So far the facts is the facts clear, so that we can really work on this, or you want to add any more ingredients to this? Okay, if the facts are clear, please put it as yes in the chat. Sandeep ji is asking average rate is from which date to which date? Sir, from the JD date to the OC date. I would have sold someone on month 1, month 2, month 3, month. Instead of putting every unit ek rate and compute, just for the ease of it, that's all. Perfect. Everyone understood the facts. Now let us see the transactions. Now let us see the transactions. One by one, we will do the activities. So let us start from builder perspective. Let us start from builder perspective. Now, what is the builder has done? He has sold. I am, though it is very casually I am using. He has sold. Builder has sold 13 units to landowner. Then sold to end customers. Sold to end customer. Sold, or I'll say sold before OC. He has sold before OC. He has sold 15 units he has sold before OC, and his unsold inventory is 2 units. His unsold inventory is 2 units. Total units. This is the total units. All right. This is the total units. Now, builder has additional liability, reverse charge development right. When I am coming to this total 2 units, we will compute that. So for a forward charge, if I have to say applicability of the forward charge, is forward charge applicable to this and applicable to this, and reverse charge applicable to this. Sorry, reverse charge applicable to this. So this is the from the taxation perspective. Yeah. From the taxation perspective, the builder has no liability on this unsold units, because after OC is selling schedule 3. After OC is selling, it is schedule 3. And for this sold to landowner is reverse charge, no. Sold before OC, reverse charge, no. For an unsold units, he has a reverse charge liability he has to pay. Let us start computing each one value and the taxes. Each one value and taxes. First, so what we need is value of supply, rate of tax, GST amount. We need value of supply, rate of tax, and GST amount. Okay. So I will move the screen to this side so that we get a bigger. Now, what is the value of supply? What is the value of supply, rate of tax, and GST for sold to landowner? We are now seeing this activity, sold to landowner. What is the value of supply on the items which is sold to the landowner? Now, sold to the landowner, the government has said, since he has provided the construction services, whatever is the value of apartments on the nearest to the joint development date, that will be treated as the value of the supply. Now, so what I have said, that the value of supply is number of units sold is 13 into on the JD date. He has sold, the value 6,500. Okay. And okay, we did not get the carpet area. The carpet area for that is 26,300 is the carpet area. So the value here, if I have to say, it is 2,22. So what I'll do is I will divide it by 10 raised to 7. So it is 222 crores. Okay, no, I am multiplying number of units also again. No, it is carpet area is 26,300 multiplied by 6,500. Yes, 17 crores is the value. So let me put it in crores. 17 crores is the value of supply. However, land cannot be taxed. So the value of similar apartments, the value of the similar apartments, if I have to say the rate of tax for this is 7.50%, then the GST is applicable on this into 2 divided by 3 into this, which is, okay, let's put it in absolute value so that, so GST for this is 85 lakhs 47,000. Let me zoom this little bit and hide the top portion. Okay. Is this aspect clear on the value which is sold to the landowner? Anyone has any doubts? So Sandeep Kothari ji is asking, how is the rate 7.5%? So here, the Sandeep ji, the entry to the for this builder, is it not a works contract? Unfortunately, it is not a works contract. It is also to be treated as a sale to the end customers. Remove the value of the land, and the rate of tax is like 5%. So same like it is sold to the end customer. Does this land deduction will apply on JDA? Because you from the builder, I am doing only a works contract service. This is what is applicable. Okay, next comes to sale to end customers. Sale before OC. Calculation once again, please. I will come. Sale before OC. Sale before OC. What is happening? Okay, sale before OC. How many units sold before OC is 17 units. Okay, I did not have capture the carpet area, but let me just put this as the carpet area sold before OC is. So out of 35,600 carpet area, he has sold 31,412 before OC. And what is the value he realized? Overall, he realized 8,000 rupees. So which means he got 25 crores, 12 lakhs 96,000. Rate of tax 7.5%. So he has a tax liability of 1 crore 25 lakhs 64,800 rupees. Then unsold units. Then left with unsold units. How many units have not been sold? Rate, how to calculate 7.5%? Please share one and one. So, okay, either I can just do this 25 into 5%, this 25 into 5%, or this 25 crores into 2 divided by 3 into 7.5%. Both yield the same value. Now comes unsold units. Unsold units, we have seen what is the taxation. Development rights attributable to the unsold units has to be charged. Now let us get the development right value and the taxation. Let us get the development right value and the taxation. Oh, sorry, I should. Now, Okay, so let's get the development right. Now, development right is what landowner has given to the builder. Development right, landowner has given to the builder. So then we need to find the value of development right. We need to find the value of the development right. The value of DR is whatever is this value of supply. This is the value of DR. Here there is only one argument people say is land cannot be included. It is this, they use the word value of the similar apartment. So the people say the value of the similar apartment is this into 2 by 3. I will explain later. This is one area which is little not settled, litigative area. That's okay. Then development right is a service. So if development right is a service, the rate of tax for that is 18%. Development right is a service. So the rate of tax for that would be 18%. Now the GST on this 18% would be 1 crore 36 lakhs. 1 crore 36 lakhs is the GST. Now this development right attributed to unsold units. Okay. So how much is the unsold unit carpet area? Here we have already found out the value of the carpet area, which is so 4,000 units did not get sold. The GST applicable on this 4,000 units, or if I have to say, this much percentage did not got used. Okay, I will directly put this value here. So the GST on the development rights is so much, 9,25,000 rupees. Now some of you might be confused and you want to know how this has come. Now this I am segregating into these three categories. This I am segregating into these three categories. What is that? 26,300. So my total construction area is 61,900, 61,900. So yes, sir. So I am segregating my GST attributable to each of this towards landowner share, so my GST on development rights, which is 1 crore 37 lakhs is allocated to each. So this is what it has to be paid. So total GST liability. Now here the government said, अगर ये जो बचा हुआ units है, okay. So this is liability 1. So the government said liability 1. अगर ये बचा हुआ units अगर sale हो जाता है, so if these units were sold, then at what rate? Let's say on the JD date it is 9,500. So 9,500 into 4188. So it would have got sold at this value. Government would have realized this much amount. 19 lakhs. So this is liability 2. So the government said, let them pay a lower of, okay, minimum of whatever. Either the liability 1 or the liability 2, that would be the taxation to the builder. So totally for this project, he is going to pay a tax of 2.2 crores. 185 lakhs for the landowner share, 1.25 crores for the sold before UOC, and 9,25,000 towards development right value. Any doubts to anyone? Let's see if there are any doubts. A developer sells a flat after CC. Does developer have to pay tax in RCM on that flat? Question by Somnath Da. Yes, sir. So he is not going to pay a forward charge, but he is going to pay a reverse charge. So these are the various aspects one needs to understand in GST and on the real estate matters. And this is what the task given to me is to simplify this complicated subject. And I'm sure that we have simplified the complication subject. And that Excel file also I'll share it along with the presentation so that you can get a glimpse of it. If you have any questions, I am free to take the questions. But before I go to the Q&A, if you have any further doubts, you can feel free to write an email to me. And my sincere thanks and I should appreciate for the opportunity given by the Tax Association and to discuss on this very industry specific. This appears to be a complicated and lot of litigative subjects, but for giving an opportunity to share some of my views and the way it has to be read. Now back to Sandeep Choraria ji, the moderator, to take it forward.
Sandeep.
Wonderful and mesmerizing.
Direct ball.
Anyway,
Yes, Sandeep ji.
The presentation was. Am I audible?
Yes.
The presentation was wonderful, and at the very beginning I said to everybody that most of the work I know Mr. Venubhai, might be he does not know me, but I have certain information from certain sources that he uses technology as very often, and he's master in this Excel. He's really master in Excel. Venubhai, this has been said to me by Abhishek Agarwal, Kolkata.
Oh, okay. Kind of him.
Yeah. Nice presentation. I don't think there is anything left to be understood. If anybody wants to put any question, I'll request them to go to the put it in the chat box, or thereafter also if there is any question left over, Venubhai has given his email ID. There are few questions, although
I'll read the question and take it.
yes.
There's one question from Somnath ji is proprietor with GST number. He booked under construction residential flat with the promoter. The under construction flat is sold to the third party. The question is the proprietor will charge GST to the third party here? Okay. The someone who is okay, it is basically sale of under construction unit by a buyer to a third party. It is not going to be a works contract sale. It is just merely an assignment agreement. So by way of this, I am transferring my rights, and what is the consideration I will derive on this right is the value appreciation which I am charging and taking is on that 18% needs to be paid. Proprietor took the help of the broker. If the broker charges GST on this, then proprietor can take input. So again, yes, he can take the input. Balramji has a specific question: how development right is a supply? So Balramji, you have specifically told me that development right is not sale of land. Now GST is applicable on a supply. Development right is not equal to sale of land, so development right is a supply. However, not full value of the development right is taxed. Only if you see in my Excel, out of the total value, the value of the development right, GST value of the development right is 1 crore 36 lakhs. Let me share the screen and show the development right ka tax tha 1 crore 36 lakhs. Now, out of 1 crore 36 lakhs, how much builder was paying? Builder was paying only 9 lakh 25,000. So government has devised a formula such a way that no one wants to further litigate. Now, if you want to litigate, that is a different story. So that there is a via media for both of the people. Can you share the calculation sheet? Both this Excel file and the presentation I will be sharing to Sandeep ji and the host, which can be shared to you. If the purchase is not shown in 2A or 2B, can I include those purchases in my books of account? Yes, you can include as long as you purchase from a registered dealer. That's great.
Anyway, thank you.
One question, Venugopal ji.
And I'll just tell you one thing, that you started that this is advocates are only present over here. But I'll tell you, I counted near about more than 25 chartered accounts were present.
Okay.
More than 25.
Hello, Venugopal ji, I want to put one
Now I
question.
will request
Hello,
our
Sandeep.
General Secretary, Sri Siddhartha Mukherjee, who is
Hello.
also the Bar Council of West Bengal, member of the Bar Council of West Bengal, to speak something in a few words about this session.
Sandeep, এক minute, Sandeep, এক minute, সুব্রত দা একটা প্রশ্ন
Hello,
করবে।
I want to put one question before Venugopal ji. Venugopal ji, hello.
Haji, sir.
Actually, you said that for development right, for unsold portion of the developer, the tax rate is 18%. But for the unsold portion of the landowner, the developer is supposed to pay on RCM and the rate of tax is 5%. Why this difference?
Sir, the development right is a supply of service. Rate of tax for supply of service is 18%. But GST is not fully paid on the development right. Development right is to be paid on reverse charge only to the portion of unsold, so that GST on the development right to be calculated and allocated to all the units. Only unsold units have to be paid. On top of it, government also has put one more cap saying, agar ye unsold units, if it gets sold, what is that I would be getting? I would be getting 5%. अगर ये डेवलपमेंट राइट वैल्यू जो ने कंप्यूट करके आया है, अगर वो 5% से ज्यादा हो रहा है, तो रिस्ट्रिक्ट इट, पे मी 5%. आई एम हैप्पी विथ 5% is what the government said.
So 5% is for both developer allocation and the landowner allocation. Okay.
No, it is developer. It's only developer. Landowner के पास जो unsold है, I don't even know whether he sold, not sold, whether he wants to sell. From my perspective as a builder, I gave it to him, so it is sold. So unsold has to be taken only whatever which is left from the builder के पास.
But as per notification, so far as 3/2019, that for unbooked flat of the landowner, the developer is supposed to pay on RCM.
No, sir. Please read the notification once again. It is builders unsold units. See, builder has already sold. He has sold the units. The landowner he has paid the tax on it. So from the builder's perspective, it has been sold.
Yeah.
सर और वो जो लैंड ओनर अगर इसके बाद बेचेगा तो उसका क्या तलुगो आफ्टर सर्टेन?
फिर से बोलिए सर.
2005.
ठीक है.
उसका रेट ऑफ टैक्स क्या होगा?
सुमित फिर से बोलो.
सुमित तुम्हें ऑफ हो गया प्लीज.
हेलो. हेलो.
हाँ जी
सर, ये पूछ रहा है आफ्टर ओसी बिल्डर तो लैंड ओनर से कंस्ट्रक्शन सर्विसेज का टैक्स चार्ज करके बिल इशू कर दिया,
ठीक है,
वो 18%।
ठीक है,
ठीक है, उसके बाद अगर लैंड ओनर फ्लैट रीसेल करेगा तो अगले बायर से कितना चार्ज करेगा? वो चार्ज कर सकता है?
ओसी के बाद कुछ भी टैक्स नहीं लगेगा ना सर?
अच्छा, उसी के बाद चार्ज नहीं करेगा तो
ओसी के बाद
The rate of construction service is 5%, I think, not 18%, which is charged by the builder to the landlord.
5%। सो ये जो एक्सेल फाइल आप देखोगे सर, आपको इसलिए वहां रेट ऑफ टैक्स भी दे दिया हूँ, वैल्यू भी दे दिया हूँ।
Actually, real estate is just such a confusing subject, particular to the rate, where the RCM is applicable, where forward charge is applicable, what will be the rate, how the valuation, and what is the time of supply. And I put one question to you, that if the developer has got some money from the landowner, which is the reverse thing, then what will be the valuation of the transfer of development, TDR? What will be? Say,
Sir,
for example, the landowner is giving some money to the developer, and there is also area sharing between the landowner and the developer.
So the value of development right should be the value of apartments, value of the money given. Now sometimes in an area sharing क्या होता है, like मैं तो exactly 40% काट नहीं सकता हूँ. So if I'm giving it 42%, then I will take some money back from the landowner. If I'm giving him 39%, I will give him some money. So whatever is the value which is derived, consideration in cash and consideration in kind. And in the explanation 2A, if you see, the value of apartments given is the value which is. So you have to, अगर cash का transaction कुछ है, उसको भी जोड़ दीजिए, जोड़ के value निकालिए.
मान लीजिए मैंने वो, say for example, I have given 4 flats to the landowner and he has given me 60 lakh in lieu of that. Then what will be the value in that case?
Sir, why will he give 60 lakhs in lieu? Maybe the area which he got, the landowner got, is more than what is agreed, right? The area which the landowner got is more than what it has been agreed. So you have to consider the value of the apartments that has been given. So the net of this 60 lakhs, because the balance portion you are anyhow collecting it from the, say, selling it to the end customer, and you are taking it.
So I have to deduct that value for calculating the development rights, valuation of development rights.
Sir, I definitely do not want to say yes or a no, because sometimes some monies are refundable, some monies are not refundable. So
it is not refundable. The money is not refundable here.
So in this case, if the builder has received some consideration from the landowner, you cannot deduct that, because the other portion which he has sold, assuming the units which he has sold, if that 60 lakhs, that area which has been given to the landowner was extra, agar usko nahi diya gaya, वो value अगर the end customer को दे रहा है, तो end customer से जो पैसा आ रहा है उसके ऊपर builder pay करेगा. Now to that extent the value has come down. So it is like he has sold the land, builder has sold it.
Yes.
40% in kind, the difference 2% in by way of cash, you take that and you compute.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
सर
you
आप
for your nice
सर आप हिंदी भी बहुत अच्छा बोलते हैं.
Sir, one question in chat.
Okay, ठीक है, check.
सर आप हिंदी भी बहुत अच्छे बोलते हैं. We have a general concept that the people from South would not like to say Hindi.
Nah,
but
your
you are great.
conception
You are
might
great.
be wrong, because those who are from the Karnataka, they know Hindi very well. They are fluent in Hindi.
You are great.
Thank you. Builder can use this RCM amount of unsold unit at 18% of development rights in any other project or business. Sir, Ramakrishna sir, unfortunately, builder cannot use single rupee, unfortunately. That is what many people have taken कि अगर चाहिए तो 7.5 से आप 12% कर दो, ITC तो दे दो हमें. So the matter is there, but he cannot use any ITC. It is also an inward supply. Anything relating to this project is like lapse. आप कुछ भी use नहीं कर सकते.
Thank you.
Thank you, बेनू भाई. सिद्धार्थ दा,
हाँ बोलो.
किसी बोल बे.
আমি তো শুনছি হাঁ করে। Can you follow
Ah,
Bengali?
it was mesmerizing presentation.
Yes,
actually.
really, মানে on behalf
Mane,
of
yes,
our
taken
association,
lots of pen.
I convey my gratitude really to our brother, I can say brother Venugopal. You are from Karnataka, and आप जो हिंदी बोलते हैं तो हम लोग भी इतना अच्छा हिंदी बोलने नहीं सकता जो आपको इतना सुंदर हिंदी में बात किया, आप जो टेलीविजन किया, आपको बहुत बधाई है हम लोग से ट्रैप से। ये हमारा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है इसमें मोर देन 1000 मेंबर्स भी है इसमें। तो आपको कभी कलकत्ता में आने पड़ेगा। वी विल इनवाइट यू टू कलकत्ता, विल सी यू, सामना सामने देखेंगे। आज जैसा दूर से देख रहे हैं तो और आपको हम लोग सामने ले लेंगे एक साथ में। एंड यू हैव टू कम। वी विल ऑर्गेनाइज सेमिनार एट कलकत्ता और इन एनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ कलकत्ता। वी विल इनवाइट यू। संदीप चुरारिया वो अपना हमारा एक दिन पहले से एकदम फास्ट डे से ही इज आवर मेंबर एंड ही इज अ गुड लॉयर। जीएसटी लेके उनका भी बहुत सा प्रैक्टिस वो अच्छा करता है, लेकिन उसका इसके डिस्कशन के लिए वो अलग से भी बहुत मैंने उनको बहुत हेल्प करता है दूसरी एडवोकेट लोग को। तो ही इज ए ब्राइट और क्या बोलेगा ब्राइट एडवोकेट फ्रॉम कलकत्ता। तो संदीप चुरारिया हमारा साथ है। और पहले जो मिहिर बनर्जी जो हम लोग का इनॉग्रेट किया है, मिहिर बनर्जी ही इज फ्रॉम जलपाईगुड़ी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल, not West Bengal, not West Bengal का नॉर्थ से आया।
Senior member for us.
Senior member, he is a vice president of TAB. So एक साथ में मिलके हम लोग जो किया है, आप आज बहुत सुंदर हम लोग फर्स्ट से लास्ट तक एकदम कोई बात नहीं करने सका, पूरा सुना है। इतना अच्छा कैलकुलेशन आप दिखा दिया। तो अभी तो हम लोग सोचने लगा कि हम लोग फ्लैट खरीदेगा। पहले फ्लैट खरीदने में डर लगता है कितना परसेंटेज लगेगा, ये पागल हो जाता है। कोई पूछता है ना कितना देगा जीएसटी, कितना देगा जीएसटी, बाप रे बाप, हम लोग तो चुप हो जाता है। बोला जो लेगा दे दे, जो लेता है उसको दे दीजिए, क्योंकि हम लोग रिप्लाई देने नहीं सकेगा। अभी थोड़ा बहुत रिप्लाई तो देने सकेगा। तो थैंक यू। क्या बोले आपको फिर आने फ्रॉम टैब आपको हम थैंक्स देता है। आप फिर आइए हमारा साथ में, ये वेबिनार में भी आइए और सामने भी आने पड़ेगा।
गुड सर, साथ ही साथ एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ, अगर देर आर बिल्डर्स एंड हु वांट्स टू रियली अंडरस्टैंड सम प्रोविजंस ऑन रेरा रिलेटेड आल्सो वी कैन हैव, बिकॉज उसमें भी थोड़ा थोड़ा इश्यूज है। एंड माय पार्टनर, इनफैक्ट माय नॉलेज टू रियल एस्टेट इज बिकॉज ऑफ माय पार्टनर हु डील्स ओनली विथ रेरा एंड द थिंग। एंड बहुत अच्छे डिस्कशन होते हैं जब भी मैं डिस्कस करते हैं कि लाइक बिकॉज बिल्डर्स आर मेरे पीछे है कि क्यों देना है, लाइक मेरे को समझाओ कि ये डेवलपमेंट रेट में क्यों देना है लैंड ओनर। सो उनको समझाते समझाते लाइक आई नो ओके ऐसे करना है, बट we can have one deliberation on RERA also agar if members practice in that area. Otherwise we can have one Q&A session and various other aspects.
I would request you please give one other session, because what you have said, the builders are always asking us why we will pay on RCM, why we will pay on development right. That is the main thing. Actually, I think that is the actually imposition of capital cost also in the real estate also. Because
Right.
they are paying taxes from their own pockets in this way. So if
Sure.
you give...
And another last thing, many people feel that okay, real estate complicated hai. वो 3/2019 by itself is a act. 50 पेजेस का एक नोटिफिकेशन निकाल दिया गवर्नमेंट एंड पीपल से उसको छोड़ दो, हम नहीं देखते. But my humble view, if you get a case, take up that case, and this recording is anyhow there, Excel file is there. If you are still struck, feel free to contact me. It's like we are professional brothers. I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Venubhai, this association was formed near about 14-15 years back. Only the brainchild was of our general secretary. And
Okay.
this was formed as because we in Calcutta wanted to deliver the knowledge to the districts of West Bengal. So the far area. And this association having 1,000 members, and in any physical conference, not less than 500 members are present.
Sir, I saw more than 150 were there virtual.
Yes,
I
yes.
was very happy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
good.
Thank you very much.
Done. Done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার দা, দারুণ এক স্পিকার আনার জন্য।
Thank
তো
you,
এটা
thank you.
বন্ধ হয়েছে, বন্ধ হয়েছে, উনি চলে গেছেন।
হ্যাঁ,
রেকর্ডিং বন্ধ হয়েছে, রেকর্ডিং বন্ধ করেছিস?